my Danny B. What do I need? A minute. When do I need them? Well, multiple times, because let's face it, Danny B Needs a Minute is more than just 1 minute. Hi, I'm Danny B. Let's talk about NASCAR. First story today, let's talk about what's happening in the world of the iRacing Pro Series. After having one of the worst years of his sim racing career, legendary sim racer Ray Alfaro was able to find his way back in the winner's circle at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the second race of the iRacing Pro Series season. This was such a good thing to see. I mean, Ray Alfaro is one of the best of sim racing, period, and this year just wasn't his year. He found himself outside of the top 20, just abysmal year in the peak antifreeze series, and yeah, it's good to see him back on top, and hopefully, he'll have a great year in the ranks of the Pro Series and he can get himself back into the peak series. As for the entirety of the top 10 in this race, it was Ray Alfaro coming in first, followed by Chris Sherburne, Brandon Hayes-Cattell, Bob Bryant, Santiago Perez, John Gorlinski, Brian Blackford, Graham A. Bolin, Nathan Lyon, and Steve Shaheen rounds out the top 10. Now also in the news this week, we found out that some guys are going to be staying exactly where they're at, including Ryan Newman. He will be sticking around for at least through 2020 in the number 6 car, and get this, Oscar Mayer is indeed sticking around with the team, and for the 2020 season, they're actually going to be holding a contest. They're going to be letting you guys design the number 6 Oscar Mayer Ford. For more information on that, just check in with Roush Fenway and Oscar Mayer on Twitter, and you should be able to find the link in order to go to the contest. News this week regarding the NASCAR Cup Series awards happening in Nashville, Tennessee, as Cassidy Pope has been announced to co-host the 2019 award ceremony. P.S. If anyone in NASCAR is watching, I live in the Nashville area. I'd love to help you out with some media stuff. Please? Chevrolet made an announcement this week that for the 2020 season, they'll be changing up their car just a little bit. They're actually going to be switching over to using the Camaro ZL1 1LE, which is a slightly rounded version of the front end of the Camaro, and most people believe that this is an adjustment that could produce a better aerodynamical design and thus could make for faster race cars for Chevy next year. And hopefully not that dreaded pointed bumper at the super speedways that has caused so many issues over the last 2 years. NASCAR drivers were out in full Halloween spirit this week. Just look at a few pictures here. Here's the Bush family in their Batman and Joker attire, but my number one favorite has to go out to Dylan Smith and Ryan Blaney for their renditions of Spider-Man and whatever Blaney is trying to be. Sorry, I don't get the reference, but it's interesting for sure. 2020 paint scheme news as Tyler Reddick has unveiled his number 8 Caterpillar Chevrolet for the 2020 season, and yeah, nothing's different. It looks just like the one Daniel Hemrick drove. Didn't really expect nothing much to change from this one, but yeah, there we go. I know I mostly talk about NASCAR on this channel, but I just want to go ahead and say one thing. This 2021 Formula 1 car, I like this. This looks pretty cool. Looks like a really fast race car. Yeah, I think that's going to be really good. Speaking of Formula 1, while we're on the subject, I just want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Lewis Hamilton and congratulate him on his incredible 6th world title in Formula 1 racing. Amazing. Truly the GOAT. Of this generation at least. Here's one for the rumor mills. Last week I discussed that I had a little theory that might lead to maybe the downfall of KBM, but again, I don't know any of that for sure. It's just my thoughts on what I see. Here's another thing leading me to continue my speculation, as it does appear Todd Gilliland will indeed be going to his father's team at DGR Crossley Racing according to the latest rumors. And on top of this, it does appear that the team may be intending to switch manufacturers and go away from Toyota. What's caused these rumors to come up? Well, according to Corey LaJoy on his podcast, Sunday Money, well, that conversation came up and he mentioned that Todd Gilliland will probably drive for his dad's truck team in 2020. So, again, I think there may be some things we're not meant to know, but yeah, that's what I'm hearing right now. Yo, wait, what is this? Well, hold on. Stop the recording. So, this just broke literally as I was recording. I was taking a break from recording and just, looking over some of my phone, and all of a sudden, boom, notifications start coming in. What is this? Today is November 4th when I'm recording this. It's 7:34 a.m. as I record this. Today at 11 a.m., there is a media advisor supposed to come out that there will be an announcement from the Holman & Company, as they are announcing they will be selling to the Penske Corporation. Apparently, IndyCar and Indianapolis Motor Speedway will be selling to the Penske Entertainment Group, a subsidiary of the Penske Corporation, which is owned by team owner Roger Penske. What? This is huge. How is this not a conflict of interest? I mean, the man has teams in this sport. How can we do this? How can I do that? I don't know. I mean, I can see, NASCAR bought ISC and all the tracks to go with it, but can a team owner really buy out the whole sport? I guess so. Huh. Well, back to the regular news. Well, I was about ready to get back to the regular news, and more breaking news. Kyle Busch will be racing in the Rolex 24 next year at Daytona, racing in the GT division, and yeah, he's even said himself, it's kind of ironic, he won't be in one of the fast cars, so he'll actually be one of those cars that's in the way in one of those cars, so interesting, but there you go. Now can we talk about the regular news I had lined up? Alright, now back to the news that happened from the previous week. Tony Stewart did indeed go on his ride around Circuit of the Americas in his Cup car, and admittedly, from the reports, it made him kind of miss stock car racing a little bit, and he said that he may consider going out in a few Xfinity Series races in the next year. I'd like to see that. I think he'd be kind of like Dale Jr., you know, it's a way to get him still involved in NASCAR in some way, but it doesn't have to be full-time. Just get a few races in, Tony. And speaking of the Xfinity Series, my good friend Ryan Vargas has announced that he will be racing at Phoenix this weekend for JD Motorsports in the number 4 car. So, Ryan, go do good, man. Hope to see you do well. And before that last story, we did talk about Tony Stewart. Well, here's some big news. Tony Stewart's team, Stewart-Haas Racing, has announced they will be doing a technical alliance for 2020 with Go Fast Racing. So this means that potentially we will see much better runs coming from the 32 car. Now, I still don't know for sure whether or not Corey LaJoie has a chance of being back at that company, or if they will be finding a new driver. We don't know yet now, but now things are starting to wonder, you know, hey, is something going to happen with Cole Custer going to 32, or is Cole Custer going to go into Stewart-Haas some way? We'll find out. Somebody who does know where they are going, though, for next year, though, is Kurt Busch, as he has announced that he has signed again with Chip Ganassi Racing, and it sounds like this is a 2-year deal at least with Monster Energy. So, sorry, even though I was once on board a hype train of thinking that, you know, Kurt Busch would soon have a retirement tour, he's here for quite a while. He's still winning, so keep on going, Kurt. It was an eventful night in the Xfinity Series in Texas this weekend, and unfortunately some of our playoff contenders were involved in some big accidents over the weekend, in both series actually. But in the Xfinity Series, Tyler Reddick was actually taken out in an accident during the regs. Christopher Bell would go on to pick up the win here, and Ross Chastain, making one of his appearances for the team he will be with next year, actually ended up finishing second. They were followed by Austin Cindric, Brandon Jones, John Hunter Nemechek, Justin Allgaier, and Harrison Burton rounding out the top 7 results. And also, as much as I've been hyping up this All-American 400 that happened at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway over the weekend, which I got to go check out a little bit on Saturday night. Unfortunately, though, that wasn't when the main All-American 400 events were happening. I couldn't go on Sunday. I was busy working. But, however, the results were Bubba Pollard actually won the first 100-lap pro late model race that started off the evening, and then in the 400-lap All-American 400, it would be Mason Mingus who would pick up the victory in the 35th All-American 400. So congratulations to the 2 winners of this weekend, as well as the winners from the various other smaller events that happened at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway over the weekend. Then for the Cup Series race, well, let's just put it like this. This track had a reconfiguration, and something is not entirely right with this facility. I don't know what's happened exactly, but there were way more cautions than I ever expected, and every single one of them was the same way. Whenever a driver would just kind of barely get into a certain area of the track, they would just lose it, and it's crazy. What more can I say? I thought it was going to be a really, exciting race, but something about this track, it just didn't wind up being right. We saw several playoff contenders involved in wrecks, including Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin, putting their season in jeopardy. And in the end of it, though, the guy who I predicted to win has won this race now so many times consecutively. It would be none other than Kevin Harvick, as I predicted on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast, followed by his teammate Eric Almirola, Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, and Martin Truex Jr. would round out the top 6 in the race. This does officially lock Kevin Harvick into the Championship 4 at Miami, and so far, it looks like we had the same 4 that were in the Championship 4 last year that were still looking to go to Miami as of right now. It's win or nothing for several competitors next weekend, so we'll see what happens when we go to ISM Raceway. And that'll do it for today's installment of Danny B Needs a Minute. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye, guys.